Good morning, people. It's Chrissy here. Welcome, welcome. These gaps between videos seem to be getting longer. I apologise. It's not actually the way I want this channel to run, but then what do I know? I'm just the messenger. So I trust that the timing is perfect, and I have to, because we have Saturn retro in Capricorn. It doesn't get more intense than that, does it? So we're in a time actually of dynamic change and restriction all at the same time. I just want to bring you a quick energy read to see what wants to come in today. So I'm using two decks that I don't often use, and one is Black Moon Astrology and the other is the Crystal Tarot. And I'd hardly started shuffling and three cards flew out of the Black Moon Astrology. So let's bring these in. So the underlying card is Leo, solar plexus, masculine creative, I will. Okay. And we're in this period of, this blindness I keep talking about, where we're being nudged to find our way through life, blindfolded almost, and no longer plugging into a set of rules and dogma and obligations that actually keep us small. So it's like we're birthing our ingenuity and getting back in touch with that curious child, and the innocence and the willingness of not knowing. And I suppose that's where, you could almost see this as a shadow energy, kind of a devil energy. Whose will? My will, my lower 3D egoic will. I want. I heard this lovely phrase the other day. We're moving out of a get mentality. What do I want to get out of this? Into a kind of bringing energy. What can I bring to this? It's more collaborative, it's softer. Allows the feminine to flow through, and it keeps the mind open. So yeah, it's like I can almost see this energy kind of looking, it's really hooking into my solar plexus. It's like it's looking back and looking forward. It's almost like it wants to check. It might even be a little bit of mistrust of self. But it knows it has this amazing light to play with. Is it nervous of looking strange? Is it nervous of looking daft? Yeah. Is it nervous of using its magic, I wonder? That Leo energy. Is it safer to defer to the construct? Is it safer to defer to the norm? Okay, so that's just the underlying energy. Actually, that probably answers the question, doesn't it? Because that's got a lot to say. It's actually got a lot to say, but which voice is it going to speak through? Is it going to speak through a lower egoic need? Or is it going to speak through its higher self, where it doesn't need to say as much, maybe? It just maybe needs to observe or quietly create, quietly and confidently create. We're not used to this because we're used to someone identifying us, validating us, labeling us, giving us shape and form, when what we need to do is to find that for ourselves and to make that for ourselves in this sacred pot. I am a sacred pot. So the three messages from this deck today are Libra, high balance. God, it's a really strong feeling of surrender and falling in this card. Feels gorgeous. Feels gorgeous. It's that, wow, I can see the picture now. I can't see much without my glasses. I kind of like that sometimes. It allows what's out of focus to come in sharper, and there's this beautiful, there I can see that there is actually a surrender to kind of look upwards, and we associate our higher self with up, but it isn't up because that's linear. It's just a different vibration where the active intelligence is cleaner, can come through cleaner without the interruption and distortion of any lower egoic Leonian self. And Leos are beautiful, beautiful big pussycats, but this is the solar plexus energy, so I don't want to insult any Leonians. They're lovely people. So this is kind of a surrender. Is there a divine kiss going on there? A union or a bonding? But it's a balancing and a harmonizing of joy and fear, masculine and feminine, egoic and divine, what I know and what I don't know, what I'm happy to explore and where I'm fearful of change. So we need to balance these polarities and integrate them into the whole self to be able to traverse the polarities so you know where you are on the wheel of experience. So yeah, I balance. This is a very dynamic week astrologically. I'm not really going to bring astrology in, she says, using Black Moon astrology cards, but it's massive. The astrology that's going on this week is massive, and I'm not going to bring it in. I've brought Saturn in because I'm really tuned into Saturn, and in fact I'll bring Saturn and Jupiter in because we've got Saturn in retro, and Saturn is the planet of divine timing. No, it isn't time yet. I know you think it is time because you've created this thing, ergo it should blossom now. No. Divine timing it's not about you. There's a much bigger picture at play, and when all those cogs and wheels have turned so that you just fall in, then it's not time. And we've got Jupiter direct. So we've got Jupiter direct, Saturn retro, both in Capricorn, the sign of structure. Jupiter wants to expand and be abundant and drop gifts right into the lap. And you can feel that energy. You can feel that sense of excitement incoming. And then Saturn kind of takes it away. So there's like this giving and withholding, in and out. I think I mentioned this on the last video. There's this kind of push-pull energy. It's going to be with us right through into October. So we've got choices, haven't we? We've got choices, whether we meet that with solar plexus, but I want it now, or whether we actually learn to master what can be quite an annoying energy. And we master, okay, I did what I was guided to do. I picked up the glasses and I held that card. And that's all I was instructed to do. I'm going to put those down and move on. So there's the mastery. Put those down because I cannot affect that now. And I'm going to move on. And I'm going to pursue joy over here. And I've done that. I'm going to pursue joy over here. So this is the feminine. She creates in circles. There's no linear start, middle, end. She creates in circles. So it's okay to be a bit disparate, bit will-o'-the-wisp, bit butterfly. It's okay. There is literally a butterfly up there. I told you butterflies come into my house randomly. This one's been here, I think probably 3 weeks. And it's just in stasis. It hasn't moved. And butterflies tell us about transformation. So, so yeah, Jupiter and Saturn is like this push-pull and let go. The push-pull is very real. I can really feel that in the energy. Last week, I downloaded a beautiful thing, which is build your studio. Okay, so the space I was in downstairs was practical and did the job, but I'm not feeling it. And I could feel the energy that I want to create. So meet Peace Lily, who's at least a decade old. She's probably older. And she was this big. My daughter bought me her years ago, and she was a little tiny plant, and she's just huge now. She's just huge. So I knew I wanted nature in. I can't think of a nicer plant than a peace lily. So I bring you peace, my lilies. I bring you peace. And I wanted more white space because that black wall unit does a brilliant job of building the crystal grids, but it's too much energy. And this feels lovely. There's more light. So I downloaded this vision. I felt the vision. So that's my body going, yep, you're bob on. I took action. I started to build. And then literally got torn out of the container that was holding me to create. How do I trust that? How do I not get peed off with that, angry with that, resentful of my intuition? But they're all the things I had to go through and to reintegrate so that I could dissolve them and give them hope again, give them trust again, and then begin again. And that took a couple of days, that process, to get pulled out where everything went wrong. And it's a big story, but everything went wrong. I can hear Saturn laughing at me. Oh, you think it did? There's so much I don't know. Okay, so there's so much I don't know. So I had to rebalance what my ego wanted. Well, it was really exciting. I was really excited. I had to rebalance what my excited wanted and the expectation of that excited, that in this time period, this would be created. It's expectation. Rebalance by letting go of expectation, trusting I got the vision really strongly. It is going to happen. Just don't know when. Okay, so it took me much longer, and it's been a lovely process. And what we're working with is change. Okay, refusing light, intuition, into matter, a new studio, by walking a different circular path, which traditionally, patriarchal lineage, doesn't feel right. It feels a bit all over the place. You want me to go over there now? Okay, you want me to go over there now? Okay, you want me to sit still now? But I've got so much energy. Okay. So change. This is going to be a very dynamic week. Very dynamic week. Lots of Uranus energy. Ingenuity. Okay. Yeah. I think the sun is direct to Pluto as well. We're breaking shit down, aren't we? Check that. I'm sorry. I said I wasn't going to, and I did. So it's finding new ways. It's finding new ways, not to necessarily do and create, but to be in a creative pulse and have no expectation of the route that's going to take you. Just be led by it. Let it lead you. Okay. So you know that the nodes have changed. The nodal axis has changed this year. So the south node is in Sag. So there's been a lot of old religious healing going on. South is karmic cleaning, that's what's in the drain. North node, destiny, light, inspiration, purpose, and the north node is in Gemini, which surely is all about balance. Surely, Gemini, the twins, conflict, opposing views, agreeing views, and joy. I always get joy around Gemini people. They're so alive, so alive. So yeah, balance, a potentially frustrating push-pull energy. Be in the frustration, okay? Notice where your mind, your subconscious automatically goes to aversion. Notice where it wants to go away from what is actually here. And what is actually here that you might be feeling could be, insert words here. So it's finding the truth of how you actually feel and dropping into it so that you can process it, okay? Process it could be as simple as just breathe through it. I see you, frustration. And now I release you. Okay. So, balance, change, life purpose. And then the crystal tarot that wanted to come out to complete the message is is a bit okay. So this is where the potential conflicts are going to come in. So this is where you need to I don't know, you'll find your way. Look to elevate your vibration. Look to not do it in the same way. In the last week, so yeah, Mars is in retro, and so there's some Martian energy. I heard some serious Martian energy from one of my neighbours who got very F-bomby, very loud and bangy. Meeting old stuff in the same way. Nothing's going to change, so how can we do that differently? Because there's going to be conflict. There is going to be conflict. Like I said, the energy for the rest of the year is becoming quite intense as we purge all the stuckness and the lower egoic response. So the first comment is that old devil called love. Okay, which it literally is. I think I just reassigned the devil card. Let's call it, for me, this is just me, the old devil called love, because love is the answer to every conflict. It's like when I work with couples, I totally get the issue, but my question is, where's the love? So what you're arguing about is love, but where is the love? So devil energy tends to create this feeling of bondage. So here we are, we're bonded to old ways of doing the same stuff. Finding a new way should absolutely throw us into a little bit of a solar plexus wobble. Absolutely. Because we're birthing the new here, okay? So there might be a bit of nervousness, a bit of, what if they say more? What if they see more of me? What if they see my vulnerability? What if they see how scared I really am at handling this in such a different way? Okay. And the devil is imagined bondage. If you look at the original Rider-Waite image of the devil card, and it's the masculine and the feminine with chains around their neck and this big devil in the background. And the background is the past. You know, so in the past, there's this energy that's making me go this way because guilt or shame or whatever other moral injury stops me going that way. And if you look at the chains, they're so loose, they can just be literally slipped off like a necklace. So it's just an imagined limitation. So notice if you're saying, I can't, I daren't, I won't, I'm not doing that, or, you know, anything like that in these next few days. And I am free of whatever is holding me back. Well, what if you were? What if you were? Can you give yourself permission to know that you are free of whatever is holding you back? And behavior makes the change. It can't all be done in the mind. It has to be done in the physical and the emotional. So sew it all together like a little weaver. Sew it all together. Okay. To create that holistic, energetic change. 5 of Wands can be about conflict. Because if you are on your path and if you are growing in giftedness and lovingness and compassionateness, then you're going to leave some folk behind and you might feel some kind of way about that. When you find that you can no longer be a pack member of a pack that doesn't uplift you, then you got to make courageous choices there. It's very Leonian. It's got such a lot to say, this card. It is a lovely energy. It's a lovely energy. And like all energy, it goes both ways. So yeah, watch out for conflict and see if you can find love, even if the only love you can find is to walk away. Okay. And I do want to put a note in here about somebody crashed my timeline the other day. So me and one of my girlfriends was having a kind of in-joke on social media. So it wasn't private stuff, but it was an in-joke about a meme that we'd both seen, and she tagged me. And then in came a woman, which surprised me, offering us both healing and something services. And I'm like, oh my God, what kind of toxic energy is that? And I was impolite. And I stood my ground. I stood my ground. So when I say find the love and walk away, watch out for politeness, because politeness sometimes is I daren't speak my truth. Politeness sometimes is I'm going to lie to your face because I daren't tell you the truth. Politeness can be more about I'm a bit nervous to find my power in this conflict. But very often, to change the dynamic of the conflict, you kind of got to drop a little bomb in there, you know, just to nudge the onus onto the perpetrator. So yeah, this was, it felt like shadow masculine canvassing two women who were having an innocent laugh about something. So yeah, I left a very stand my ground comment. And it felt okay, it felt quite true. So yeah, you know, and it's change, it's all change. What does that say? This is the underlying card for these two clarifiers. And this can be difficult to see things exactly as they are. Actually, in this culture, can be quite difficult because there's so much egoic stuff getting in the way of what the actual truth is. I'm hearing remnants of hurt can nudge us in the wrong direction. So if we're still carrying hurt and sorrow or trauma inside us, that can totally rewire what comes in. Perception is reality, right? So searching for the truth. Somebody did something to someone. It's that truth. And noticing what gets triggered in you. I know I've said this 1,000 times, but yeah, it's handling conflict in a way that allows you to express your truth and to feel differently about that. I'm not going to shame any other way. It's just we're just finding different ways here. Because the patriarchal way of might is right. I compete and I win. I compete and I lose. There's only a winner and a loser, which is rubbish. It's all being dismantled. So there's not much of it, really. You can hang on to it because it does feel safe and you know it. You know that program inside out. But this new program is it's feminine. It's very different, very different. And that's it. That's me for today. That's it. I'm going to leave you with my love, as usual. And please like, share, subscribe, whatever floats your boat. Leave me a comment, sing me a song, pick a fight, whatever. It's always good to hear from you folks. So lots of love. Take care. I'll see you soon.